What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Untitled Gaming Channel. I am AJ Gels. I just finished the next to last press conference. Ubisoft, man, they can put on a show. That was probably the most entertaining conference I've seen, mostly because it was focused on the games. You know, they didn't have to talk tech. They didn't have to do this, that. It was all games. There was tons of stuff shown. Aisha Tyler, voice of Lana from Archer. That's where I know her from. Love that movie. TV show. What the hell am I talking about? I love that TV show. Love her character. Honestly, I guess I'm kind of like with everyone else who keeps going, why does she keep doing the press conference? And you know, this was her 5th year doing the Ubisoft press conference as a host. And, you know, and actually she kind of came out and said, you know, like, she's a gamer, you know, like, she loves games herself, you know, so, you know, and she puts it, you know, they don't pay her enough to do this just because, you know, they don't pay her enough to do it if she didn't enjoy it. But no, I mean, really, before she kind of came out and did her stuff, there was, like, this live dance performance. It was all basically a big ad for Just Dance 17, which, by the way, is available. Will be available this October for all consoles, and next year for the Nintendo NX. But no, Tyler came out. Really, she did some great. Shtick. She was really funny. I mean, she did start with kind of a. I will say though, that live dance performance, that was like the dumbest thing ever. Not saying it was bad. It's just like, it's like the Sharks at the Super Bowl, and everybody loved that. I'm just like, why? But no, it was started out with a statement for the Orlando shooting. Again, I talked about this in my Mafia 3 presentation reaction video. You know, pretty much the same thing. You know, it's the hearts go out, and I'd like to, you know, kind of also say my own 2 cents about that, and say my heart and prayers, what have you, goes out to the family, families and the people involved, all that that were involved in the shooting. You know, and I'm sure that goes for pretty much everyone in the world. You know, that our hearts go out to you. But no, you know, she started doing stuff. You know, she told some jokes, some pretty pseudo inappropriate stuff. She said "fuck" in about the first 5 minutes of her up there. She was pretty fun. Also introduced Ubisoft's 30th birthday, because that was this year. And then we kicked off right into the great games. We got a very in-depth look at Ghost Recon Wildlands. Nice CG trailer, fucking awesome trailer. Dominic Butler, lead game designer comes out. He explained the premise of the game. Sorry, I chugged the Mountain Dew. I'm trying to stay awake for Sony's tonight. Kind of came out. Basically, the idea of this game, it takes place in Bolivia. Kind of, you know, it's the cocoa trade is very popular down there. You know, you can do a lot with that. You know, you make lots of different goods or cocaine out of that. So kind of what they're doing is take this Mexican drug cartel that comes in and takes over Bolivia and kind of a corrupt government and starts to, you know, take over this. Well, as, you know, the best of the special ops, the ghosts, you're dropped in far behind enemy lines, and pretty much your goal is to take down the cartel and the corrupt government by basically taking down targets, cutting into the drug trade, cutting into this. You know, it's a big open world. As they put it, it's probably the first open world military shooter. So, you know, it's all, and I mean, like, in watching the gameplay, it's very much, you know, Ghost Recon, just in a big open world environment that you can go anywhere, do anything. It looks amazing. It will support either single player or 4-player co-op. I didn't see any single player. The gameplay that they showed, I believe, was 4-player co-op. So I don't know if you switch between the 4, if you play as one of them, and you know, you're giving out orders, exactly how single player will work, or maybe you're just in there by yourself. So I can't really talk about that, but of what I saw, the 4-player co-op is really great, very interesting, because from what it seems is that, you know, you can split up, you know, you can all 4 be doing something different, but in the gameplay that they showed, they're going after this specific target. Well, 2 of them are going in to get some intel, so, you know, they kind of stealth in. You know, you have one person up on Overwatch 1, you know, and it grabs the intel, you know, they chop her out and go meet up with the other 2 at the location of the high-value target. You know, they kind of stealth in, you know, they're kind of all changing their position. You know, you have people on Overwatch, you have people, breaking in, trying to get this high value target. They kind of get spotted. Then this big car chase shows up. Then people are, you're chasing after him in helicopters and motorcycles and cars. And I mean, it's just this great, big, action-packed, completely dynamic scene that, it probably could have happened about 80 different ways. You probably didn't even have to do the big car chase, because if you could have gotten in unnoticed and taken him down right there and extracted him, it would have been much easier. So, a great-looking game, fantastic-looking game, but can't wait to play it. March 7, 2017, all consoles, PC, PS4, Xbox One. Very excited for that game. You can definitely expect to see the Let's Play right here on this channel. This press conference was awesome for me, because I'm a big Ubisoft fan. I'm wearing my AC4 shirt. I love Ubisoft. They're my favorite developer, so this is a really cool press conference. I really enjoyed it. In this game, again, I think the last Ghost Recon I played was Future Soldier or something like that. So I really can't wait to get my hands on this game come next March. Anything else I can say about it? I don't really think there's anything I can say about it. The characters are either really funny, characters, or we were getting audio that the characters, the players were talking, because I'm not sure, because it was the characters were interacting with each other, or the people playing the game were talking to each other. I don't know. It was kind of hard to understand, but I mean, it was a really great gameplay reveal. Go check it out. And I actually encourage you to go check out any of the gameplay reveals that I talk about, just because me talking about it doesn't give it justice. So I would suggest definitely go check it out for yourself. And after the Ghost Recon, here comes Jason, I'm going to hope I pronounce this right, Schroeder of Ubisoft San Francisco, comes out to talk South Park, The Fractured Butthole. I'm sorry, I'm a big child. I love that. I love South Park. I didn't play The Stick of Truth. I definitely plan on playing that before this December. December 6th, by the way, is the release for South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Basically, the idea of this one, they kind of talk about the story in The Stick of Truth. You kind of end the game. You're kind of like the new kid in South Park, and you end the game. You become king. Well, it's the next day. The kids, they're all playing they're playing a new game, and you come down. You're kind of, as they put it, kind of back to being the douchebag, because you're no longer the king now. They're playing superheroes. So you have Cartman recreating his famous character, the Coon. Yes, I say it like Cartman. It's the Coon. Yes, I know it's a racial slur, but no, it's because he's dressed up like a raccoon. I mean, it's funny because it's really messed up. Again, the voice acting is amazing. The animation, it looks like a South Park, literally looks like you're watching a South Park episode. It's really funny. It's kind of this idea that the kids are kind of playing their own superheroes, and it's like their own version of Civil War. So there's Cartman's trying to come up with their movie scheduling, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then they're breaking off because they can't get along, so they're having their own civil war over this. I honestly, I have it in my notes. It's best thing ever. I cannot wait to play this in December. Basically, when you kind of come down, you're dressed as the king, and Cartman's what the fuck, and just being Cartman. And then you kind of make your own superhero. It's overall arcing classes and abilities and all that. It looks great. Can't wait. Again, it looks so much fun. They showed a little bit of what the new combat is. It's still sort of turn-based, but it kind of looks a little Fire Emblem in a way, because you position people in combat. You move around around the area. Farts are apparently back in this game. I don't know what they did in the first one, but apparently in this one, your farts are so powerful they rearrange time, and they apparently rearranges the turn order. Looks absolutely hilarious. I would definitely suggest that you go and pre-order The Fractured Butthole, and because you will get the Stick of Truth for free. Check Ubisoft's website to find the full list of retailers that's available for. So go check that out. The next thing that came up, began talking about The Division. Julian Great, Gerighthy, Grady? I don't know. I'm sorry. I was writing really fast. the creative director behind it. Basically, they showed a trailer for Underground. And you talked about a little bit, kind of the idea of Underground. I talked about that, I think, back at the EA press conference. I remember talking about Division a little bit ago. No, I talked about it earlier today in the Microsoft press conference, but they showed a little bit more. It's just, again, it's a new area with new missions, all that. June 28th for Xbox One and PC, and a month later, August 2nd for PS4 owners. And for anybody who is a member of Ubi Club, we get now 3 new outfits based on 3 classic Ubisoft IPs: a Splinter Cell outfit, a Ghost Recon Wildland outfit, or Rainbow Six outfit. You can all check that out. We also got a neat little kind of CG trailer for the Survival DLC coming soon. Survival, it looks kind of like you're out looking for scattered resources out in New York. It's like everything's gotten really bad. I think this is them adding something like Horde mode. Because I remember reading about this a long time ago and hearing about what Survival was. So keep your eyes out for the Survival DLC. Like I said, it's coming soon. We don't have exactly when it's coming out, but check that out. The next presentation, or the next little segments, were based on Ubisoft's VR programs. They showed 2 big new VR titles. One being Eagle's Flight. If you don't know what Eagle's Flight is, basically it's a VR game where you play as an eagle. They showed off a PvP match called Capture the Prey. It's basically a 3v3 capture the flag game. It's got this really neat art style, very pretty looking game. I'm looking at it, and I'm watching them play it, and again, and this will be releasing for all VR consoles. And again, I'm like, this is a neat concept and a really neat looking game. I sit here and look at this and go, and like watching them play it, and like their heads are moving around, and they're like, I'm like, even doing that, like my head hurts. It's just it makes me dizzy. I don't feel good while doing it. So I don't understand why that is such a big appeal in VR, that it's like you look around, moving your head. I'm like, well, I can do that same thing moving my thumb on the camera stick. I don't get it, but I have to try it before I'll make my final judgment on that. But you can, like I said, that's Eagle Flight. I definitely suggest go check out that match, because I can't describe it, just because it's a very unique kind of thing that I've just never seen before. The next VR title that they showed, they brought out David Vatyipka, Senior Creative Director, Red Storm Studios. They introduced a 4-person VR Star Trek game called Star Trek Bridge Crew. I still don't get VR, especially when they showed this. They showed like a bunch of Star Trek characters. LeVar Burton being one of them, or the only one that I really knew. LeVar Burton, and they also bring him out later. And he's out there talking and brings up, he's like, really, this is what we imagined when we were, doing the show, like when we were typing on the monitors, there's really nothing there. So he's like, well, this is what we imagined. It's so cool. Like you're sitting next to these people, and I'm sitting there. And again, I sit in there going like, yes, it's a cool idea, especially if you're in a room with 3 other people and you're all sitting down. I'm like, but online, I'm like, well, that's not fun online, because we can't just talk. It's not like I can look over to my left and the person on my left is actually sitting there. I don't get it. But again, this looks like a really cool idea, especially for Star Trek fans. That just aren't me, because I'm also not a Star Trek fan. Moving on, we got, I guess, even more presentation. Jason Vandenberg came out. He really gave this great presentation For Honor, which, we actually got to see some more of the single player, as opposed to the multiplayer, which we saw last year. The single player is kind of, as I understand it, it's kind of like something happens and we kind of combine the world of the knights, the samurai, and the Vikings, and this is why they're all fighting each other. Each group kind of has their own reasons for what they're doing, and each has their own kind of story and motivations. But with the gameplay that we saw, you were playing the Vikings doing a raid on the samurai. And, this thing is violent as hell. You're just running through, cutting through swaths of enemies, just just with this giant battle axe, you're fighting samurais. The final boss fight's really cool. This combat system is so unique. It's how you position your weapon. It depends on how you block, and it's a very kind of rock paper scissors kind of approach to combat, which I think makes all combat extremely intense, especially when you're in a multiplayer environment. I cannot. I think I also have in my notes awesome and gross right here. I can't do this gameplay justice by just talking about it. Definitely go check it out. Go watch it. It was a great gameplay presentation. The For Honor will be available February 14th, 2017. So right in time for Valentine's Day, as Aisha Tyler put it. It's the what's the best thing for Valentine's Day with what is it? It's food, wine, and waging bloody warfare, or either that, or she'll leave you the next night. Her presentation, her delivery was much better than mine. But no, you can also go register for the next alpha Ubisoft For Honor. So go check that out on Ubisoft's website. The next person to come up, the next presentation was Pete Young for Ubisoft Reflections. Gave a presentation on Grow Up, which is the sequel to Grow Home. Honestly, I can't talk to you about this one because I missed this part of the press conference. I had a knock on my door. I had to go out and check, see who it was. So I missed this. It was, I think, about maybe 3 minutes. Again, I would suggest go get it. And what I did see of it, I didn't understand. But again, I didn't play Grow Home. So I'm going to be honest, go check that one out if you're interested in Ubisoft Reflections. Grow Up, because like I said, I don't feel comfortable giving you guys information or an opinion on that at this moment. Then we got to see a little bit of Trials of the Blood Dragon, as they put it. It's if Trials and Far Cry Blood Dragon had a baby, and this is what it is. We only saw a kind of a trailer for it. From what I saw, it's pretty much Trials, with all the bikes and all that, but also show some like side-scrolling, like running and shooting. It looks really weird, really interesting. And actually, if you're interested in this, it is out right now on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. You go check out the Ubi store for prices and whatnot, because you can buy it from them and all that. So go check that out right now. Trials of the Blood Dragon. Then we got away a little bit from video games in this next little segment, because they brought out Frank Marshall, the producer of the Assassin's Creed movie. We got I know it's weird, we don't have an Assassin's Creed game this year, but it's still at E3. This one, there's not really much I can tell you. We got a making of video, and everything that they kept saying about this movie, the introduction, it's like, well, the assassins are for free will and the Templars are order and this and that. And I'm just like, well, yeah, that's the story of Assassin's Creed. They're explaining the story of Assassin's Creed, which I'm pretty sure majority of gamers know the story of Assassin's Creed. And I understand this movie is for people who hasn't necessarily played the video games. The movie seems very much like Desmond's story, that your character is kind of kidnapped and held prisoner, and you're going through an ancestor's life, and he was an assassin. Michael Fassbender's character it looks really interesting, like a really good movie. Except their weird animus looks like a really weird rape machine. It's like a big tentacle. It's like holding him up like by his waist, and it's like jamming stuff into his neck. It looks really weird. It wasn't like the table from AC1. But definitely, I can't wait for the Assassin's Creed movie, December 21st of this year. And no, Ubisoft's not paying me to say that. I'm just a huge Assassin's Creed fan, and actually, I want this movie to do well. I just don't know. But again, I have high hopes for it. The next one was probably, if you ask me, the biggest Ubisoft. Yeah, I'd say the biggest Ubisoft thing. The Ghost Recon at the very beginning, that was pretty cool. But the Watch Dogs 2, I just ruined it. Watch Dogs 2, they talked about it, but we really kind of got an in-depth look at the gameplay. It kind of delves into social media and elections. It's kind of like this group. They have this thing called Invite, which is basically, so it's like Facebook, like a social media outlet, and it gathers all this information on people, their likes, their dislikes. So basically, they can kind of tailor make a politician to put into power. So, it's a lot of corruption, and it's a lot of DedSec, the hacker group, who your main character, Marcus Holloway, is a part of. You're basically throughout the game, and this necessarily wasn't talked about at E3, but also talked about a little bit beforehand in the big reveal. We talked about it's about gaining followers to the cause of DedSec, trying to fight back against this corporation, this power, who kind of wronged Marcus and these other people. It looks very interesting. Everything in this game can be hacked. Like, I saw him literally hack a car and control a car, remote control an actual car. It's like everything in this game can be hacked. Everything can be, you can profile everyone just walking down the street like normal. There will be, almost completely easy, seamless co-op where, you're in other people's games and whatnot. I hope there's an option to turn that off, just because I don't like that stuff. I like to play in my own world. Leave me alone, everyone else. Again, that's just me. But I know some people love co-op and all that, so there will be, again, co-op is back in the game. Apparently they're saying it's very easy to get into, even though they didn't really talk about it. They just kind of mentioned it. Then we get to see a little bit of gameplay, like an actual story mission. I will say this: all the characters seem very, very colorful. We got to meet Marcus, who was talking to a character called Wrench. Again, Wrench is a very animated and very funny guy. Marcus himself is pretty funny. There was another character on their comms. I didn't get her name. But going into the mission, he's about to, he's kind of hacks in and, sees where he has to infiltrate. As he's infiltrating this penthouse, he's moving this crane over, and he's telling her to play him something fresh, and puts in his earbuds, and we're getting this it's playing music, while you're running in and gunning. So I'm it explains why there's this ambient music, because you have your headphones. And I'm oh, that's a good idea. That's funny. It's gonna kill me when I do the let's play of it, because that's all probably licensed music. Because that means I'm getting copyrighted left and right. But no, I don't mind about that. I mean, that's great. I think that's fantastic. I cannot wait to see what happens with this game. Because, like I said, I mean, again, go check out that gameplay reveal. It also showed that Marcus can actually free run. So, we get some parkour, some free running. So, actually, this is now finally Assassin's Creed in modern day. Because, again, that was the thing with Aiden Pierce. He didn't move. He didn't do anything. But no, I mean, this game looks really fun. Cannot wait to see, and use a lot of these hacking tools. Your drones. He's got this little hacking, looks like a Segway, but without the top bar, and he rolls up and launches this arm, and it puts in this little remote hacking device. It's really cool. Cannot wait to try it. Yves Guillemot, the CEO of Ubisoft, then kind of comes out, starts talking. He did say something that I kind of go, really? He called Watch Dogs 1 a success on when it launched on PS4, and I went, really? I mean, I'm in the minority that said, it wasn't awful. I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was an alright game. I think there was a lot of blueprints there to make Watch Dogs 2. And again, I say it's kind of like what they did with Assassin's Creed 3 going into 4. They had a lot of blueprints and a lot of stuff that worked in 3 mechanically that they brought over to 4, and they made a really good game of 4. So I'm assuming that's what they're doing with this one, where Watch Dogs 1 was okay, but then they take what worked and what didn't, and really make Watch Dogs 2 fantastic. I cannot wait to see this game. So again, I find that kind of funny that the CEO is calling Watch Dogs 1 a success, but whatever. Then they bring out Jim Ryan of Sony, because this time around, unlike The Division, Watch Dogs 2 will be partnered with Sony. They're not just with the games, but they're also working with Sony's internal, movie and their movie producing business. And there's currently a Watch Dogs movie in the works. There's I think 6 Ubisoft titles that are currently in the process of getting a movie. I think there's Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Splinter Cell, Far Cry, and 2 others that I can't remember. So there's a lot of Ubisoft movies in the works. The other part of this kind of partnership is that on PS4, all Watch Dogs 2 DLC will be available 1 month before it is available on Microsoft consoles. So that means the PS4. Say something drops. Let's just use June 1st because we're in June. Say some DLC drops June 1st on PS4. It'll be available July 1st on Xbox One and PC. It's sort of like the Division of Microsoft's kind of connection, how the Division is getting DLC for Microsoft consoles a month before. So that's how that's going to work. Finally, Yves Guillemot comes back out, does his kind of little talk, and brings out the representatives of Ubisoft ANSI to kind of bring out their new IP called Steep. Steep is a open world extreme sports game. Basically, it takes place in the Alps. The game looks huge, very open. Like you have drop points on these maps, on all these different mountains in the Alps. And when you drop in, you go into something called Mountain View, and it kind of pulls out, and you can kind of see all of the mountains. And it's like all one big connected range, but like they're the different peaks and all this. It looks really cool. Then you can choose to, I believe, wingsuit, ski, snowboard, or paraglide down, and it's kind of like a GoPro kind of look. I think the game would work really well in VR. In this mountain view, as you're going down the mountain, it shows, your line and your path of how you got there. Well, you can go and you can rewind, and you can watch the video, you can save the video, you can share it online. The mountain is like a big playground for everyone. It's a big multiplayer experience game. You can share video, create challenges, all that. You ask me, I don't know. This looks like a game that would be fun for about 2 days. That's just my opinion. I'm not big into these kind of games, but I know there are people who are. You can access the Steep beta at steepbeta.com. You can get access to that. The game will be coming out this December. Guys, that was the end of the Ubisoft press conference. It was a great press conference, great production, all that, really fun. Tune in later tonight. I'm sorry, if I'm rushing to the end of this, my dog's barking, and I think somebody's at my door. It was a great production. Cannot wait for Sony tonight. You can definitely expect my video after the Sony press conference. I'll be doing the same thing that I've been doing for the past 4, along with the Mafia 3 thing. Go check those out on my channel. Check out my weekly show, The 11th Hour. That goes live every Friday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Hit me up in the comments. Always happy to hear from you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the videos, you want to help support the channel. Check out my Let's Plays, check out my coverage. Like I said, check out my weekly show every Friday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep watching. I'm AJ Gels. This is the 11th Hour Gaming Channel, and I'm out.